What's up, guys? Welcome to the Rhino NRG podcast. Today, I have an amazing guest, Steph. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Grant?
Oh, so pumped to have you here. So this is our second episode ever. So welcome to it.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
What a day.
Just learned a little bit about Steph today, and if you want to tell the audience what you've been focused on for the last year, and we'll kind of go from there.
Well, kind of a lot of things. So my sort of full-time day job, I'm the marketing director for Maxi Walker, kind of a staple here in the Omaha community. Dry cleaning and laundry business. It's been around since 1917, and uniform rental business as well. I've been the marketing director there for about 8 years now.
Wow.
Then recently, this year, an opportunity that's entrepreneurship related fell into my lap. I picked up some freelance work doing some marketing for some people that I worked with previously at a job in Arkansas before I moved here many years ago. And then personally, I'm always looking for opportunities and ways that I can give back to our community and pour into our community. So I do sit on the board of a nonprofit organization called Free Bikes for Kids Omaha. And I also championed our first ever Max's Coats for Kids coat drive, sponsored by Maxi Walker, where we collected and laundered coats to give out to kids this winter in Omaha.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you've got a few hats.
Yes.
Sounds like.
Yeah.
Which is usually what entrepreneurs do.
Yeah.
I find it often that I meet with people and I talk about entrepreneurship all the time. That's what I do as I coach entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they don't see themselves as an entrepreneur. They just see themselves as a small business owner. Mm-hmm. Like that's what that is, right? Even if something comes into your lap and you're like you're being invited into the entrepreneurship space now.
Sure.
And nonprofits, like that's a business. People don't understand that nonprofit is a business.
Yeah.
And that's entrepreneurship as well. And so sometimes there's confusion about that, I find.
I guess I haven't considered myself an entrepreneur, but when you put it like that, maybe perhaps I am.
Right, that's
Learned
good.
something new today.
There you go. New identity we get a shift into. That's awesome. So as you've had the marketing director position for 8 years, that's a good amount of experience. Yeah. And so now, and what's the name of this new venture that found you here this year?
I have a website that I purchased. I haven't launched it or anything, but I own the domain. Maven Consulting is what I would kind of name my business if it comes to fruition at some point.
When it comes.
If I had the opportunity to do that, I chose Maven because a Maven is someone who knows a lot about everything and really wants to share and spread information and help people. Learn about things that they might not otherwise know about, learn about things that are beneficial to them, ways that can help them or propel them forward.
Love it. That's cool. I didn't even know that. So we're both learning.
Yeah.
Sweet. So that's kind of what the contracting work that you've been doing, is there a name behind that? Or is that just side projects you've just been working on?
It's a side project for a company called Box Metal Buildings out of Arkansas. They're a steel building manufacturing company. It's a group of guys who worked for a previous company that we all worked for. That company folded. They went the entrepreneurial route and started their own steel building company and came to me and said, hey, the people who are doing our marketing are not really doing a great job, and we remember you from when you worked for us many years ago. Would you be willing to take this on and work for us a few hours a week? It's a small company. They don't need a 40-hour week full-time marketing, director or manager in their company. But I'm just kind of working with them on the side here and there, weekends and evenings.
So that's awesome. So they approach you to be a contractor. So now that just, I don't know if you understand this quite, but Steph Dorland is the business.
Yeah. I'm my own.
You are the business, right? So they contracted you. So now, that's the exact definition of a side hustle or a passion project or whatever people want to call it.
Sure.
But that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So somebody unintentionally invited you to start your own business.
I guess so.
It is great. That's amazing. Congratulations. And then now of course that gets your brain going. You're like, okay, where do I go next with this? Because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
How do I grow it and build it? Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So with all of that, other people usually see us differently than we see ourselves.
Sure.
And so I want to talk about, who does Steph Dorland see for herself? Who do you think people see you as? And then I also want you to say, who do you see yourself as, and then who are you growing to become?
Sure. Gosh, I think I would hope that other people see me first and foremost as just a kind and caring person who is genuine and always kind of looking to just do what I can for other people. Your last guest, you talked a little bit about servant leadership. I think I learned that term from Sasha Berscheid, my friend, and I had never really heard that before, but you talking about, I was listening to you talk with your other guest about servant leadership, and I've looked into it a little bit, and I feel like that's really who I am, and whether that's through the nonprofit community, whether that's through my personal endeavors and who I am as a human being, or even professionally, just giving back to others, helping other people, always being positive, and a light, I think, in the community.
You hope that you feel that you see yourself the same way.
Yeah.
And that's important because you want other people to see you the same way you see yourself. But again, like I've found that that's not always the case.
Sure.
Whether we have imposter syndrome or maybe we have an identity of like, I'm trying to become a certain person. Mm-hmm. And so right now, I'm not that person quite yet, but I'm building towards it. And some people discuss like certain timeline loops and all those things. Like if I am that person in the future, then I am already that person now today.
Sure.
And so now, but how do we fill the gap and get there a little bit quicker? I don't know if you've come across any of those conversations.
I mean, I think that I was probably there previously. You know, I'm a little more established in my career. I'm 42 years old, so I've been kind of doing this for a little while. And I think it did kind of take me a long time to sort of come into my own and really, I think, get comfortable in my own skin. You have to really kind of, I think, have sort of the same things repeated to you multiple times from multiple people before you start to believe them at times.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people professionally and personally have been in that place where they think they're not good enough, or they wonder if they're sort of inflating themselves in their own head. I've definitely been there, but I've just kind of quietly pursued my career and, you know, not tried to be too, I don't think I try to be like too showy about it or anything. And I think that that's actually served me pretty well. I think people, you know, notice that I am always willing to show up. I do not, you know, do anything except to my best ability. And I'm kind of always pursuing more knowledge, more expertise, more ways to get things done. And I think that, you know, finally, after a long time of grinding in my career, I think I'm reaping the benefits of that. I think that, you know, perhaps the opportunity that came into my lap earlier this year that I didn't foresee or pursue, hopefully would speak to the fact that I've made a professional impression on some people previously who haven't even, you know, seen or talked to me in a while, but they remembered me.
Yeah, and I think, so, I mean, you touched on so many good things. I've noticed as I've grown personally and professionally, like, our professional career only goes as far as our personal development.
Sure.
And so I've found for myself, I've had to validate myself before anybody will validate me. And then once I have started to step into my own power, now I have opportunity with other people because I see myself the way that other people see me. Before I was timid, I wasn't allowing myself to step into my power. And so like, I think there's this whole thing where people confuse humility with pride. And I think there's false humility. We're like, well, I don't want to like give myself too much credit. And it's like, then you're kind of downplaying yourself, and now you're actually talking bad about yourself. You need to give yourself credit. We don't validate ourselves enough. And I found that the more we actually talk about ourselves in a positive light, and we give ourselves credit, that also allows other people to do the same for themselves. And we're in this society where we don't. Everyone's either shameful to talk about themselves because I think that means that they're gloating and that they're full of themselves, or you have to be humble. And like, there's got to be somewhere in the middle where we're excited to be where we're at and excited to share it with the world, but not in a showy way like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And that's where leadership comes into play. Because if you're not leading with confidence, people are probably not going to follow. it's hard to do. Now, of course, you don't want to be like, look at me and look at how awesome I am, and blah, 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 right? Giving credit where credit's due, because the reason we are the way we are is because so many interactions with other people help us shape to be who we are. But also being like, I also put in a lot of hard work, right? Like, you need to give yourself credit, because if you expect anybody else to recognize you, you gotta first recognize yourself. It's kind of backwards, because we're like, I've had this conversation with so many people where, like, oh, I just want someone to recognize me and notice me and give me a chance and all these things. It's like, but you're not even saying yes to yourself. So why would anybody else see that in you if you don't even see that in you?
Yeah.
So if like, you obviously people are seeing things in you, you put in the work, and then start to like recognize yourself. And sometimes that's hard to do because you have that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do I let go of this identity and step into this new identity, because it is a shift.
Yeah.
And it's a whole transformation of yourself. Your mental capacity is shifting and changing, and your identities are shifting and changing, and you've got to, grab onto it, and which means you have to release the past.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, I always tell people, like, thank your past self for getting you here. I'm here now today. What am I building for the future? Mm-hmm. All those are important.
And it's such an interesting concept for me personally. I have an 8-year-old son. So I have to figure out, how do I present myself and how do I move about the world to set an example for him and the person that I hope that he becomes, not because I force him to become that way, but because he sees me. He sees personal and professional accomplishments, and he wants to be like me because he looks up to me, not because I demand it of him.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're setting a good example, which is awesome. I'm so happy to hear that, because that's not always super common.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, other people shape us. So I want to ask you, who do you feel like are the top 3 people in your life, whether today or in the past, that have helped shape you in your business mindset and maybe encouraged you on your entrepreneurship journey?
That's a tough question, but I had a couple of college professors who just sort of more generally influenced me. I'm still kind of in contact with them today. Dr. Suntae Ann and Robert Meads were 2 of my college professors who I think they saw something in me, and they recognized it, and they, gave me some encouragement that I desperately needed at the time that I don't think I had received before. And they just instilled some confidence in me that I think I really needed, and I think that's propelled me forward in spades. Then that was 20 years ago. But I still think today about the influence that those 2 college professors had on me at Kansas State University back in the early 2000s.
That's amazing. So how did they each individually influence you? Because you grouped them together, but I want to separate them.
Yeah.
Kind of like, so you're like, this is almost like a video test. I'm like, thank you individually, right? How did their impact affect you that is now having impact on your son and everybody else that you influence?
So Dr. Meads, he just gave me good feedback on the work that I turned in. I took some creative classes from him and some other advertising. I have an advertising degree.
Okay.
So I took some advertising related classes from him, and he just gave me good feedback. He was honest with me and genuine. And he just told me I was doing a good job, and if there was something that needed to be improved, he was just really sort of considerate about the way that information was delivered. It was a good example, one that I hadn't sort of seen before in my previous life, and he just kind of like it was a lead by example type of thing, but also he just kind of poured into me some confidence and some good feedback, and kind of gave me permission to do things that I wouldn't probably have given myself permission to do, to pursue things. Told me, this is a thing you're good at, this can be a career for you, and it is. I mean, I'm one of the few people who I know who actually uses their degree for the career that they're doing.
And then the other.
And then Dr. Ann, she was a mass communications professor, and I didn't ever pursue it, but she said, I think you should go to law school, and I would write you a recommendation letter. And I was just like, that was crazy to me. I had not considered it, and I don't know if I would have made a good lawyer, but the fact that she was willing to put her name on a piece of paper to recommend me to do something that was seemed like such a huge deal, it just left this imprint on me, like someone believes in me that much that they would be willing, to to back me on something that I might like to pursue. It's just like this permission, like you can do things. You have permission to try things. You are capable. You can do this. You can go forward. And it was nothing profound at the moment, but it was just like this ripple effect in me that just gave me this confidence to just go forth and grab things and get what I wanted. And it was not a linear journey by any means. I've made some mistakes.
Never is.
I got fired from a job because I was doing a terrible job. I have had some, personal failures as well. But ultimately, those two people really propelled me forward with my confidence, personally and professionally.
And then give me one more.
I mean, Rob Walker, the owner of Max I Walker, he is a great businessman. He is a great salesman. He is a very influential person in the community, and my office is next to his, and I'm glad it is, because he just he's a great guy to talk to. He has lots of good business information. He was an entrepreneur himself. He started a different division of Max I Walker back in the 70s to diversify the business. And he has been successful because he just goes and does it. And that's, I think, something that's really great to be privy to and to be a witness of. And, I wasn't in the early parts of it, but in the last 8 years of working with Rob, I've seen a lot of good stuff, and I've learned some great things from him.
That's awesome. I haven't met Rob yet, but I'm good friends with his son, Jordan.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to meeting him one day. That's cool that he's had such an amazing impact. It's rare. Actually, I'm going to recant that. I'm finding it less rare that leaders are actually pretty cool people.
Yeah.
I think society or maybe people that aren't necessarily at the top or working towards building, we are so quick to judge, and we think that these people in these positions of power that have money are bad people, or they've unapproachable, and they're so down to earth, and they're just humans like we are.
Yeah.
And I tell all my clients this. I say, talk to the number one person that you think is the biggest, most above you, that is in your circle, ask them to coffee or lunch. I guarantee they will say yes, and treat them like a human being, and you'll realize that they'll treat you like a human being. But we're usually so scared because we don't think we earn that. We don't think we're on their level. We're all human beings. We're all on the same level. We have different experiences that have given us, that have shaped our lives in a certain direction. And maybe, that equates to more money or more influence or more impact. But how can we build together? And we start realizing we're all on the same playing field. No one's above each other. I have friends that are homeless. I have friends that are billionaires. And I treat them the exact same. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to give them a hug. I'm going to talk to them and use their name. And it's all about love and connection, and just we don't need I've so often in my life put people on pedestals, and now which means I'm diminishing myself, and I'm looking at myself as small. We're all big, but we got to step into that power. And it sounds like you're starting to. So that's so exciting. So how can the community support Steph? How can we help you? How can we connect with you?
I'm just getting started with this sort of side gig, I suppose. So I don't really have an answer for that at the time. But what I could ask from the community is find a nonprofit, find a charitable organization, and ask how you can support them, because that's a thing that I'm really a champion of. Free Bikes for Kids Omaha is always looking for support. We collect bikes and donate them to kids just in time for Christmas every fall. And like I said, we took coat donations from through Max I Walker this year and did a coat drive and donated those. So I would love to see more people in our community in small ways get involved, because that all adds up.
Okay, so I found this interesting as well. A lot of people don't know how to help. They don't know how to get involved. So looking up a nonprofit, maybe finding something that you're passionate about, something that you struggled with in the past, there's probably a nonprofit helping that type of person.
Sure.
So when you talk about the bikes, how can somebody get involved with that? How can they help? How can they contribute time, money, energy?
Any of those things. So we do a bike collection day in the fall. That's already passed for this year, but we'll do one in September of 2026. If someone doesn't have a bike to donate, the unique thing about Free Bikes for Kids Omaha is it takes about $30 of work and parts to get a bike generally rideable and ready for a kid and safe. And so small dollar donations really go a long way with that particular organization. It can be a one-to-one impact, even if you don't have a lot to give. But if you don't have a bike and you don't have money, everybody has time. And anybody can clean a bike, and all the bikes that we receive do get cleaned before they're repaired and safety checked to give out to the kids. And so we have groups, organizations, clubs, churches, Boy Scouts, all kinds of groups of people come in to volunteer together to serve their community together. And that's a wonderful way that people can give back to the community that costs them nothing but a few hours of their time.
And you guys have a website, Facebook, Instagram?
We do. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and our website is fb4komaha.org. And then we're just FB4K Omaha on social media handles. Yeah.
Free Bikes for Omaha.
Free Bikes for Kids Omaha.
For Kids Omaha. Okay. Sweet. And then the other one, the coat drive?
Yeah.
How would they get involved with that?
So that we would take coat donations. Believe it or not, we had a lot of people this year go and buy brand new coats and donate them. So we do take gently used coats, and of course we're a commercial laundry facility. So we did launder all the coats that came through before we provided them to Project Intentional. But I spoke to a couple of people who were going to buy brand new coats. One person was like, I'm on my way to Costco, what size coats do you need? And then another person, a sweet gal, she received an inheritance and decided that she wanted to use that to pay it forward. And so she purchased a bunch of new coats and filled up one of our donation bins in our stores.
Awesome. And so where can we take them to donate?
So we accept coats from August 1st through October 31st. So it is, again, passed for this year.
Okay.
But we'll do it again next fall. And those can be donated at any Max Walker store. We have 10 locations around the metro. And we don't really do much with that off season. And that's not a monetary donation need, nor time, like volunteer time need. But Project Intentional, who receives the coats, needs people to volunteer, and they accept monetary donations. So.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Then so I've got 3 core values.
Sure.
Honesty, kindness, and progress. And I like to talk about progress with everyone that I have on the show. And it's interesting because we don't know how, we get like, oh shoot, now I'm on the spot. But I want you to talk to the camera and tell the camera exactly where you're at today with your entrepreneurship journey. Then let's do something quantifiable. So how much have you received? What's your biggest year yet? I'm assuming what I'm hearing is probably this year because it was kind of your first year. So what have you collected in that? Where would you like to see it go in the future? And then, we'll have you back on the podcast in the future and we'll see what happened.
Sure. So this is my first year as an entrepreneur, I suppose. And my consulting business, I think I've netted about $12,000 this year.
Awesome.
And we'll see where it goes. I have just one client right now. That's tough because I love my full-time job and I don't necessarily want to leave it ever, but we'll see where this goes to.
So what's your forte? What's your niche?
Just kind of all things marketing, really. So what I'm particularly good at is website design, copywriting, and graphic design. So I love to design. I used to design publications professionally before I kind of got into the more umbrella marketing management and director space. So I just kind of am a jack of all trades. Like your previous guest, I am the marketing department, the entire department. I don't have a team. It's just me and ChatGPT.
That's a big team.
Yeah. You only have to pay them a salary of $20 a month, so it's pretty worth it.
Not so bad. Awesome, Steph. Well, thank you for joining us today. Can people find you on Facebook and Instagram? Do you have a page?
Not really. I'm not super active on social media right now.
All right.
So.
Well, we'll get you going on that. Sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.